requesting a final order. After consulting with Ms. Tamba, the state is not going to ask for retro medical or retro dental, so asking the court not to order either of those. And then I think the only other issue that was reserved was court costs, so I would defer to the court there, defer to the court the ad litem as far as all things possession, access, conservatorship. But do request that the court continue the finding of family violence and non-disclosure.
All right, Ms. Gustafson.
Yes, Your Honor. I would be recommending to the court under my findings, and I believe the evidence will show that there has been domestic violence that has occurred, and that it would be in the best interest of the child here for the mother to be the sole managing conservator, and that the father have supervised access to the children.
All right, then.
Or to the child. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll ask Ms. Tamba to raise her right hand, please. All right, ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and let both the lawyers ask you some questions, ma'am, and then we'll confirm what we're going to end up doing at this time, at the end of the hearing. Thank you very much, and you may proceed at this time, Mr. Diamond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, will you call Ms. Tamba? Ma'am, will you state your full name, please?
Kelly Tambo.
Okay. So there's only a couple issues I have. My request to the court is to basically leave the money in place that's been ordered. Do you have any objection to me making that request?
No, that's fine.
Okay, and my request to the court also is not to order retroactive dental support or medical support. Do you have any objection there?
I do not.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, I'll be back to you in a moment on your rest of any other items you have any other items you have, Mr. Diamond, and I'll go ahead and let the ad litem call the witness. Thank you.
Ms. Tombaugh, what is your son's name?
Asher Stevens.
And when you first got involved with his father, you have an older son, correct?
Yeah.
And how old was he when you met the father?
3 or 4.
And Mr. Stevens would sometimes keep your older son, correct?
Yes, after I went back to work, he kept him until we could get him into daycare.
And did some incident occur that caused you concern?
Yes. One time while I was at work, he brought my son to me, saying that he had gotten hurt while playing in his room. And when I later took him to the doctor, we found out that his arm had been broken.
And were you concerned about how the arm was broken?
Yeah, the story didn't quite make sense. He said it was because he pushed the door open and Junior was playing behind the door. And I feel like you would notice an arm.
And were there times that Mr. Stevens was left alone with his son as well?
Yes.
And when you would return from work, did your son have unexplained bruises on him?
That was those bruises happened after we had split up, so that was his visitation weekends. But yes.
So after him going on visitation with his dad, there were bruises that were unexplained. Is that correct?
Yes.
And where were those bruises located?
The biggest one was on his face, next to his eye.
And did he explain how those happened?
He claimed that Asher was laying on the bed and fell off of the bed and hit a chair.
And how old was Asher when that occurred?
He would have been about a year and a half.
How long has it been since Mr. Stevens has seen Asher?
Last May.
So May 2024. So it's been close to 10 months, correct?
Yes.
And when was the last time that you spoke with Mr. Stevens?
Around the same time.
And the most recent contact you had with him was through Facebook, is that correct?
Yes, he sent a message in last April and last September wishing my oldest son's happy birthday, as well as myself a happy birthday.
And your younger son, his birthday is a week after your older son, correct?
Before, but yes.
A week before.
Mhm.
Did he wish his own son a happy birthday?
No.
Has he reached out to you at all to ask how his son is?
No.
Has he reached out about seeing him at all?
No.
Are you concerned about him having time with Asher alone?
Yes.
Are you asking the court to allow him to see Asher, but under the supervision of your mom?
Yes.
And do you feel like that would be in Asher's best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know if your mom's willing to do that?
I would need to ask her, but I'm sure she wouldn't have a problem with it. She doesn't work on the weekends.
And your mom hasn't had any run-ins with Mr. Stevens, is that correct?
No.
And you and I discussed it possibly occurring maybe on the first and third Saturdays of every month.
Yes.
And you had mentioned to me that Asher usually takes a nap in the afternoon, like between 1 and 3. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you expressed the best time really for him is usually in the mornings.
Yes, ma'am.
So would you be asking the court to set visitation at between like 9 and 11?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you also concerned that Mr. Stevens is not good about keeping his word about showing up? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And your mom likes plans.
Yes.
So would you ask the court if he does make those arrangements for visitation that he provide that Mr. Stevens at least let you know 72 hours in advance that he was going to exercise his visitation?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you also asking the court to appoint you as a sole managing conservator of your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like that's in his best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
Has Mr. Stevens ever caused you to feel afraid of him?
Not for myself, no.
But you've been afraid for your children?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Anything on redirect, Mr. Diamond?
No, Your Honor.
All right, folks. Based on everything I've heard here, I'm looking at granting everything that the state and the ad litem are requesting to be do here today. I'm looking at naming mom, and again, I'll do that because based on this testimony, the judge has some serious concerns about the well-being and these accidents that keep happening, and some serious concerns about the well-being of the children. So I'm looking at naming the mom sole managing conservator. I'm looking at naming the dad possessory conservator. I'm looking at giving him, I'll let the ad litem pick which rights she thinks he deserves under this thing, but make it restrictive as possible based on what the court's ordering as far as his visitation package is concerned. I'm going to go ahead and set up the restricted visitation as requested by the state and by the ad litem and the mom, and using her mother as the person that's going to do it. What's the time frame that we're looking at Ms. Gustafson of if he wants to actually have visits with the grandmother there? Is there a specific date or time, a date of or a weekend or a day of each month that you're requesting again?
The first and third Saturdays, and I had said 9 to 11. I mean, I don't know if you want it longer, 9 to 12, maybe.
And so she wants them early in the morning, right?
Yeah, because he usually takes a nap around 1.
All right, so let's go from 9 to 12. And how far in the I normally make dad have to give mom at least a 72 hours advance notice that he's going to go ahead and actually attend and do that visitation before she even has to bother her mom about being there for that upcoming visitation time frame.
And that's what we're requesting, Your Honor, is
All
72 hours.
Good enough. Then I'll also order that. I'm looking at an order to child support and cash medical as requested by the state and everything else. Is there anything specifically, Mr. Diamond, you need me to rule on? I'll order court costs if billed by the county. The dad has to be responsible for that, and he has until the 31st day of December 2025 to make that payment. Is there anything else specifically you need me to rule on, Mr. Diamond?
Your Honor, you probably already did, and I probably missed it, but was there a location for the visits?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was going to be at her mother's residence. What's the pickup? It's going to be, does he come directly to her mother's once he gives her the notice, or how y'all want to set that up?
I think it would be good for us to allow her mom to designate a place because she may feel better that it is at a public place.
All right,
Because we're
then.
asking for non-disclosure for the mom.
Okay. Okay, that's going to be granted. So dad's got 72 hours to give mom the request. Then mom has 24 hours after that request to give dad the location, and she needs to do that by app close. Let's put everybody on app close so we can have something verified. Ma'am, I'm gonna put you on the parenting app. It allows for the ad litem, anybody else who is the ad litem, or anyone to confirm that everything has been done that it was said was being done. So I want him to notify you or request a visitation through app close. So you need to set that account up, and Ms. Gustafson can run you through that, how to do that. And then you've got 24 hours after that to send him an answer back by app close where your mother wants to meet him, whether it is at a residence or a public venue. All right.
Okay.
All right. Anything else then, Ms. Gustafson?
No, Mr. Diamond, the name of her mother is Diane Harding with a D.
All right, guys. I'll go ahead and grant that. I'll let the state prepare that order. Let's circulate it, and then that's going to be the order to further order the court. Again, suspect injuries to children. Yeah, we're not going down that path. Okay, we're not going to facilitate that kind of behavior any further. All right. Thank you, ma'am, very much. And anything else, Mr. Diamond?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, we're off the record, ma'am. Good luck to you and your kids. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We're off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And again, Mr. Diamond, again, what was that child? Let me make sure I got it down right. What's the amount of child support going forward and the amount of cash medical going forward, sir? Thank you.
The medical support was $62, Your Honor.
Okay.
Child support was $238.
Okay.
And did you want the repayment on the retro, Your Honor?
ahead,
This
give
was
that
all
to me.
previously ordered.
Right. Okay. Retro.
The court ordered $70 a month repayment.
Okay. So we'll keep that. Not a problem. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Anyway.
And if I may step away, Your Honor, to go get Mr. Carter Maddox.
Go right ahead. And Miss Tambo free to go, and y'all send her the copy of the paperwork. Obviously, this guy, because again, the Atlanta's got to do a little work on this one too. So, ma'am,
Yes,
you're
Your
free to
Honor.
go, and you'll be getting a copy of this in a few days, and we'll get it signed off on for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.